Hello folk, so now I'm just going to show you a few different tricks you can use to create your branding and cover your packaging in whatever you like. So there's an opportunity that you could potentially laser engrave this or cut it out with a laser engraver. So many options, and because Illustrator works well with it, it's kind of the perfect program to use. So what I'm going to start with is we've just created this beautiful net, but I don't want it to accidentally be damaged, so I'm going to go to my layers and just lock that layer out. Alright, so this way I can't damage it at all. I've turned off the view of my underlayer, so now we just have the image that I've created. Then come down here and create a new layer. So this is the layer we're going to be working on now. So you can create as many layers as you like, depending on what you're doing. I'm just going to hide that for now. And the first thing I'm going to show you is how to add text. So we just click on this little type tool. There's a few options. So we can actually type on a path tool, type vertically, all this kind of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to look at the type tool. So I'm going to click on my page and enter my type. So let's see, I'm going to call my soap Soapy McSoap Face. Okay, and then if I just highlight that, I can come over here and adjust the type of font that I want. I'm going to select this one. I can change the size as well. 36. And I can change whether I want it to be bold or regular or thin, if that's an option for that text. So if I come over to here, remember we talked about how that was either your outline or your fill. So I'm going to show you the differences between fill. There you go. So that's the filled. So if I zoom in, you can see it's filled, it's colored in. But if we select this and we swap it around, it turns into an outline. So this little arrow actually swaps the two. So we got fill and we got outline. I can also double click on that and I can either select a color from here, or I can go to my color swatches and select one from there. Okay, so I'm going to make that filled and I'm going to make it pink. Soapy McSoap Face. Now I can also type, let's see, I'm going to make it maybe for all smelly people. So highlight that again and I make it way smaller. That's just my little side note. Change my font to something different and put that underneath. Okay, so that's an option. Another thing we can use is these shape tools. So I'm going to make some bubbles. So I've just selected the circle tool. And if I hold down shift, I can make circles. But if I don't hold down shift, I can make ellipses. Okay, Control Z is your undo. What I want to do is I think I want to make some blue bubbles. So I'm going to go here, select the blue, hold down my shift and drag out a circle. Whoops. So there I have all my circles. I can highlight all of them and drag them around. Now I kind of want my bubbles to sit behind my font. So I'm going to use my layers to do this. So click on my layers and I'm actually going to create a layer on top of my layer 3. So new layer. And at the moment I've highlighted the bubbles, but I think I want to highlight this text because I want it to be on top. So I've highlighted the text, and if I come over here to this little square, it actually indicates what's highlighted at the moment. And I can just click on that and drag it into the next layer. See how now it's on top? So now, it's basically created layers for me. If I wanted to move around this bottom layer, I can just lock that text in place, highlight my bubbles, and move them where I want them to be. Alright, nice and easy. There's a few different things I can do on here. So I'm also going to show you the paintbrush tool. So I can do a bit of paintbrushing. I can make it a bit fatter. So that's by adjusting the stroke, or thinner. I can also change the color. So if we double click on that again, we've got here. Otherwise, we've got our color swatches we can select. We can do a whole bunch of different things. Control Z, I'm going to get rid of all that stuff. Okay. I can also insert other images. So earlier I found a picture of something that I want to use, and I'm just going to put it in this image. So I'm going to File, Place, find my bubbles that I found earlier off of Google, and place them on my thing. So I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller by grabbing the corner, holding down Shift, and making them a bit smaller. Okay? So that's really basic, but in this way we can actually put all of the different shapes and all of our details on there and print it off all at the same time. Now what I would recommend is if I've finished my box, I'm good to go. What I could do is actually come over here, and I'm going to hide those lines that we created earlier. Because when I print it, I want the box to look pretty seamless and nice and clean. You might want to leave the lines, but I'm going to get rid of them. So to do this, I'm going to unlock my layer 2 and select it. So remember we created our own box outline there. I'm going to highlight all these folding lines. Make sure they're all highlighted. Now I'm not going to get rid of them just in case I need them later. So I'm actually just going to double click on my stroke color. And I'm going to make them white. Got to go down one to white and go OK. And now they're nice and light. I think that's actually great. So what I can do is go OK. So now that I've selected white, you can't see any of those joining lines. And once we print it off, we're only going to see the outline and be able to cut that out and fold it ourselves. So yeah, these are just some of the basic methods you can use on Illustrator to create your box. If you also created your logo by on pen and paper, you can actually use this program to trace it and put it onto the computer. The same way I trace the box, you could trace your logo. Just watch my other Illustrator tutorial that I'll link with the details of how to use the pen a bit more in detail. Okay, thanks guys.